Hi everybody, this is Master Gardener Bernie DeLaNay back with another little garden jaunt classic from It's Not Work, It's Fun. I hope you all have had a wonderful week. It is very close to St. Patrick's Day. And I have right here, this water is a little bit murky, but that's all right. I have right here, when I planted, I didn't plant, but when I hydroponically started this avocado seed, I had sharpened chopsticks because I couldn't find the toothpicks. And it's been in here for about a week. I'm going to talk about a bunch of other stuff too. It's actually starting to swell up. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. You can see a little bit of a bump there on the very bottom. That's what it's supposed to do in water. Now, I showed you another way of doing it in soil. It's swelling up on the bottom like it's supposed to, and it'll send down a root, okay? And one of the things you want it to do is send down that root. If you change the water, make sure it's room temperature water, make sure it's distilled water, or if you have, well, there's no snow around here now, but if in north central Wisconsin, we really don't have any snow, but if you have, it doesn't matter if it gets murky, it's all right. You can change the water, make sure that it's distilled though. And one of the reasons you want distilled is because you want everything that's in the water, say there's PCBs, there's maybe toxins of some kind, you want it to go down to the bottom of the container. And that's what you want to put the seed in, okay? So I'll show you when the root starts out. Well, let's see. Oh, I wanted to show you some. I didn't bring down the carrots. It doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, I've got a couple of neat things growing here. There's another little. You probably that's right here is one of the little tiny. As you can see, if you can see it right here, yeah, it's a little tiny miniature roses, and that might be a pink one. I'm not really sure. I don't remember the color. Could be red, could be pink, could be white. I don't have any yellow. Anyway, I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this to the side here. And I showed you some of my other avocado plants. Now, these are nothing but pepper seeds, okay? They're pepper seeds in here. I'm going to show you a bunch of different flowers here. These are things I absolutely love to grow. This is called California Wonder Pepper. And the Latin name for pepper is capsicum, okay? Capsicum annoyum. Well, you don't have to say that last part. Annoyum, yes, it is annoying. No, it's not annoyum. It's a capsicum, and then that's the Latin word for pepper, okay? And any kind of pepper, it's capsicum. Now, some people say that the pepper originated, okay, the reason I have this it's soaked in water, I want this to remain soaked. They haven't come up yet. They've only been in here for about a day. And one of the reasons is I put this in a really warm place so the whole bottom, all the water and everything heats up. That's because peppers love bottom heat, okay? And some people say that the capsicum originated in the country of India. And then some researchers will say, no, it originated in the country of Mexico. Some of them did, some of them didn't. Some people say, oh, they originated in the country of China. Not all of them. They have different kind of hot peppers in China than they do in Mexico. Mexico, you get your jalapenos, your habaneros, or the mixture of the ghost pepper, which is very, very extremely hot capsicum. I had a tiny piece. Don't mind me, I'm doing stuff here. I had a tiny piece of a ghost pepper one time. And I do mean very, very tiny. It was no bigger than the head of a pin. And it was not even on the hardest part of the pepper of the hardest parts of the pepper are near the bottom, and the ones up the pepper up near the top where it actually comes out on the stem and everything is not as hot. But however, I had the tiniest piece. It was no bigger than the head of a pin. And I thought, okay, I'll taste it. It nearly took my breath away. It was so extremely hot. So peppers do come from different parts. They say that some peppers even originated in Thailand. Um, the ones that I've looked up, that I've studied, a lot of the places in books, and I've read literally thousands of books on gardening. The ones that I've read all say they originated in India first, and then they traveled to China and Mexico. Some people will say, no, it's just Mexico. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I kind of prefer to think that they probably did originate in India and the world travelers at that time. And some of these places were 3,000 years ago, not before Christ, but after Christ. And some of them claim, some of the places that you read, the books or the websites that you may go to, claim it was before Christ. It was BC, in other words. Well, it was a long time ago. And there's a lot of places who actually have peppers. And so, I mean, you can say what you want. They may have originated in Mexico, China, or India. I tend to think they kind of originated in India, not any place else, and then they traveled. Okay, so that's what this is. I'm going to set this in a really, really warm place where there's heat coming up from the bottom. Now, this doesn't look like anything, and yeah, it's soaking wet. It's a peat pot. The whole thing will just disintegrate when the peppers come up and the roots start to grow, and they're still in that spot. They don't like when they germinate. They don't have to have a lot of light. They got to have bottom heat. Okay, so that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. Again, some of the hottest peppers, this is debatable. Some of the hottest peppers in the world may come from Mexico, or they may come from India, or they may come from China. Who knows? I'm not really sure about that. There's a lot of people who argue about that stuff. So I'm going to put that over there. Now, there's two flowers here. This one, and no, I haven't planted them yet. These are going to get planted out in the yard. I'm just going to put them out there in early spring. These are, believe it or not, this one says Delphinium. That's this one here. And this one says Larkspur. Now, the thing that you want to remember is, in the Latin name, is Delphinium. Delphiniumi, if you want to be technical about it. Larkspur is the annual. It's a family member of the Delphinium. They're both from the same family member. Oh, they're big, tall plants. And the Delphiniumi, or Delphinium, is, they originated from Greece, okay? And the Larkspur is the one that really is an annual. It doesn't grow back each year at all. As a matter of fact, they sort of look the same and they sort of don't. Here, I'll let you decide. I'll put them up there. The Larkspur is the annual part of the Delphinium. Okay, let's put that over here like this. This is Delphinium. This one's Delphinium. This one's Larkspur. This is the perennial right here. Now, the reason I could plant this out in the yard, and I'll probably plant these down on some mound plantings that are down by the pond, so that the deer can eat them and the fox can sniff them and, all that good stuff. All right, so anyway, the Larkspur is the annual family member, and apparently there's about 5 family members to the Delphinium. Larkspur is one of them. This is the annual. This is one that you are not going to see coming back year after year after year. The Delphinium are the Pacific Giants, this one right here. Now, to get these to grow this big, they have to come back year after year after year. These can get as much as 7 to 8 feet tall. I've seen them that tall right in my own neighborhood. I actually have some that are pretty tall myself. They need a lot of growing room. They're beautiful flowers. They need a lot of really good soil as well. Okay. Again, larkspur, that's the annual flower of the Delphiniumi or Delphinium family. This is the perennial and this is the annual. Are these going to come back? Well, only if you save the seeds. Now, these have to come back year after year after year, and they have to have a really good place. They take a lot of good soil. If you grow the annual, the soil doesn't have to be quite that good. Okay, it can be decomposed and everything. If you have decomposed, say, maple leaves, they'll thrive in that. Delphiniums are a little more strict. They love to have a fresh scoop of good decayed soil every single spring because they're the ones that come back year after year. They're the perennial. There's 3 different kinds of flowers. There's perennial, there's annual, and I don't have a biennial with me right now. That's one that comes back every 2 years. They drop the seeds and then they grow from the seeds. Okay. The difference is when you buy a started delphinium from a garden center, say any garden, big box retail store. Of course, I always talk about Dollar Tree because they're a small box retail store, and they sell these seeds, but they don't. I mean, they sell little garden cutters, but they don't sell these are little handheld garden snippers, but they don't have the great big huge tools, not like the tools that I've shown you before, like the loop neck shears or the head shears or the little handheld tree saw. They don't have that, but they do have a lot of things, and the seeds are one of them. I didn't buy these particular package of flower seeds there. I don't remember where I bought them, but the two big nice businesses that do go along with this TV show, It's Not Work, It's Fun, my regular show, and these little jaunt classics, the JCs as I call them, they is Dollar Tree and US Cellular. That's the phone company that helps me do all kinds of technical stuff for these little garden jaunt classics. Anyway, the point is that you can get them anywhere, but these are the businesses that help me do the stuff that I do, and they're very, very good at it. So I speak their names. I got permission to speak the names of Dollar Tree and of US Cellular because those guys help me with the broadcasts and stuff. Okay, this is a dahlia. All right, now I love growing these from seeds. A dahlia really doesn't grow that fast from a seed. And again, if you see, okay, they develop the dahlia corm, okay? Some people just call it a bulb. Some people call all the things a bulb. They're called corms. They're called bulbs. They're called rhizomes, okay? When you see, let's for instance, a big, huge started delphinium plant that you plant and it comes back year after year after year, and it's a great big, huge flower, the time from planting the seed, especially a delphinium, which is a plant, and a hollyhock, that gets really, really, really super big. Really, really super big. The time that you see that to the time you buy it in the lawn and garden center, no matter what big box retail store it's in, is going to be about 6 years from seed to the time they can sell it. Larkspurs, not so much. Dahlias, yeah. And in some cases, when you plant this, and this is not an outside plant. Well, you can put it in a flower box, take it back in. Dahlias, you have to keep as a house plant. They're not perennials. They're not cold hardy enough, okay? Well, unless you're watching this show from Florida, California, or someplace, maybe maybe down in Kentucky, maybe in maybe they can grow. They're hardy enough in the warmer parts of Ohio, maybe. Who knows? But at any rate, when you see a dahlia from seed to the flowering stage is pretty many years. You can't you can't just get a dahlia to flower, say, within 6 months. It doesn't work that way. Neither does the annual part of the delphinium. Larkspur is part of the delphinium flower. It won't take as long, but a delphinium from seed to flowering stage is anywhere from 6 to 8 years. Larkspur is from 2 to 4. And dahlia, depending how big those bulbs get, or the corms or the rhizomes, whatever you want to call them, can be anywhere from 8 to 10 years. This is from seed. It will take at least 2 to 3 years for the seed to actually get into not a flowering stage, but a growing stage in the size of the corm, the bulb, the bulbous, whatever you want to call them. Most people call them corms, corms. That's why they charge a lot of money for this stuff. Now, say, for instance, an apple tree, an apple tree that's maybe 4 feet tall. Well, for it to get from seed to 4 feet tall, it's probably a good 10 years. That's why they charge the money that they do for these things, because it's not an overnight thing. Somebody told me just the other day that I was a 40-year overnight success. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But I have been doing my regular gardening show for close to 40 years. And it's all the hard work that went into that show, which are full half-hour episodes, every single one of them. I literally, a couple thousand of them. Or probably more than that. Anyway, one of the technicians that I worked with the other day, they said, no, you probably got several, not a couple thousand, probably several thousand. Well, yeah, I probably do. But at any rate, I keep going, doing the stuff that I like to do. And I'm not going to do this today. I am going to show you. Okay. So, the freesia, okay. Now, yes, they grow tulips. This came from our lovely Dollar Tree right here in north central Wisconsin in Rib Mountain. And these are bulbs. Okay, I'm going to cut these out. I'm going to show you this. These do not stay outside in the ground either. And the other one I want to show, I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to take a hollyhock root and I'm going to plant that. I'm just going to show you what the root looks like because, okay, these are, it says they're grown in Holland. Did they originate in Holland? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think they did. I think they're more, well, Holland, Switzerland, Norway, maybe. I don't know what some of these websites say. I know the one that I studied off of years ago. This is what freesia looks like. Okay, it's a bulb. And right here is called, this right here, this is called a bulblet. This is the baby to the big bulb right here. You can take these off, just peel it off like that. And you can put them inside and grow them inside. There's tiny, tiny, tiny bulbs.